Everyone is talking about how you can find yourself. But why is nobody talking about how you lost yourself in the first place? You were not born lost. And any solution given to you on how to find yourself without understanding why you even lost yourself in the first place is like a bandage on a still bleeding wound. It won't help. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michaela and today I want to talk about how women are actually losing themselves without even knowing, and what you can do to never lose yourself again with understanding why you lost yourself. Let's get into this. First of all, I want you to understand that you never truly lost yourself. You might have forgotten who you truly are, forgotten how to listen to your soul, but you are still you. You have not lost yourself and you don't need to go somewhere to find yourself. And with understanding how you lost yourself, or how you lost that connection to yourself, how you have forgotten who you truly are, you can actually find your way back home very easily, and you can also prevent to not make this happen again. The first thing how women lose themselves or forget who they are is when they are neglecting their bodies and their needs. When you are saying, I'm just tired, when you're actually feeling emotionally drained and exhausted, that's a way to neglect yourself. That's a way to say, hey, I am not important, my feelings are not important, I brush it off as I'm just tired. And believe it or not, you are not the only one who is doing that. So many women, including me in my past, are saying constantly, I'm just tired. And that's maybe what we truly believe in that moment, because we have learned from society that we are being kind of rewarded with suppressing our emotional needs. We are doing that because admitting that we are emotionally not feeling okay feels like there is something wrong with us. So we learn as women to suppress our emotional needs. But this is such a big part of us. So while doing that, and while thinking that's normal because men are doing that and because that's somehow expected of us, people are expecting from us to suppress our emotions, people are telling us that our emotional needs are too much, we are learning that suppressing our emotions, suppressing how we emotionally feel is normal, is okay, is actually something good. But let me tell you, it's not. You are disconnecting yourself from yourself with saying, I'm just tired, while you are being emotionally disconnected, while you are being emotionally drained, exhausted. And what you can do is to ask yourself, do I actually feel tired? Or is it something else? I nurture what I feel. I ask myself, hey, what do you actually feel? What do you actually need right now? And then I'm following to do that. When, as I said, I feel emotionally drained, I do something that makes me emotionally recharged. The next thing is when you accept the bare minimum and you are calling it love. To be honest, the bare minimum can never be love. The bare minimum is only comfort. When you're with someone that doesn't give you what you actually need, what you actually want, then you are with that person because of comfort or fear of being alone, but you cannot be with someone out of love when you are actually not getting what you need. If you are with someone that doesn't give you what you need, you're disrespecting yourself over and over again, and you're not loving yourself. And when you're not loving yourself, you can also not love another person. So what you're doing is not out of love, is not out of pity, is not out of empathy. It's simply out of your fear. And your fear is coming from your ego. And your ego doesn't really care about who you are in your soul, who you are as a person. All your ego is caring about is to protect itself. Your ego, you have to imagine, is like another version of you that wants to protect you sometimes, but it's more about protecting itself. So if you have your ego as that version of yourself, let's say it's a version of you that looks really old, drained and ugly, and this version doesn't feel good in itself. This version wants to survive, and this version does everything possible to survive. And once you do something that makes your ego feel uncomfortable, that makes your ego feel like, oh, this is unknown, in that unknown I don't know if I can survive, your ego doesn't want to go there. So your ego wants to protect you from the unknown, but the unknown is not something bad. Now, let's say you are in a relationship, in a love relationship, and you are being actually deeply unhappy because you're accepting the bare minimum, but your ego feels good because it's known you are already there since years, months. Your ego feels comfortable here because it gets some satisfaction from being with someone. It gets some attention. Your ego gets something that it makes it survive here. Let's say now you are thinking to break up with this person because you are accepting the bare minimum and you are having that feeling of, this is not really what I want. This doesn't really do me good. Your ego, this old, ugly version of you, is starting to get angry. Your ego is starting to feel like, oh, there is something coming where I don't know what it is. Maybe I cannot survive here. Maybe we will be alone. Maybe we will never find someone else. Maybe we are not good enough for someone else. Oh, maybe we cannot survive in that world. Our ego cannot survive without that validation from another person on our side. So what your ego does is it makes you feel scared, it creates fear in you, and this fear is masking it up as love. You say, okay, no, I'm in love with this person. I am deeply in love with this person, with a person that is giving me the bare minimum or even less, because I am in fear of being alone. My ego is in fear of not surviving. What you can do is to redefine what love actually means for you. Sit down, write down, think about it. What is love for you? Is love really suffering? Does love mean for you to be in a situation where you are not happy, where you have to beg for the bare minimum? Believe me, honey, love is not about begging. When you are with the right person, you don't need to beg for anything. For anything, because the right person will give you with happiness, with love, what you need. And whatever you need is your bare minimum. Whatever you need is your bare minimum. If you need a person that has 24/7 availability for you, that's your bare minimum. If you need someone that is constantly telling you, I love you, that's your bare minimum. If you need someone that is gifting you every day, that's your bare minimum. Whatever you need is your bare minimum, and whoever says that's too much, you're just asking the wrong person. The next habit you are doing to lose the connection with yourself without even noticing is when you are laughing about something that actually hurts you. It seems so innocent, it seems so normal to laugh about something that hurts you because I don't want to make it a big deal, I don't want to be a drama queen, right? If it hurts you, it hurts you. You are not being a drama queen for expressing how you feel. If it hurts you when someone says to you, you look tired today, you look like you didn't sleep a lot today, that's something that hurts you. You don't need to laugh about this. When someone says, oh, the way you walk looks funny, when someone makes a joke about this and it hurts you, that's something that hurts you and you can say it. And even if you don't want to mention it in front of people because your pain has been maybe dismissed before many times and it's difficult to be vulnerable for you, minimum mention it for yourself. You can start with saying to yourself how you truly feel, even though you're still laughing it off. I had a really good friend a few years ago, and she suddenly told me she doesn't want to be anymore in touch with me, and she kind of broke up our friendship. And I found it that time so painful. I was so hurt, but I laughed it off. I brushed it off and I was saying like, it's fine, it's okay, I wish you all the best. And recently I ran into her and I saw her coming up to me, approaching me, trying to talk to me, saying hello and wanting to start a conversation. I said hi, I said, listen, you hurt me. I am not available anymore for giving you energy, for giving you attention, because you hurt me a lot. And that was it. I said what I felt, and that was it. I left, and to be honest, I am so proud of myself that I am now being in a position where I can honor my emotions and I can honor how I feel and not anymore just laughing it off. The next way you are losing yourself without truly knowing it is when you are trying to over-explain yourself to people who would never listen. Baby girl, people who don't listen, people who don't understand you or who don't want to understand you, you have to let them go. Part of you probably still believes that you can make them understand how you feel, you can make them understand and finally treat you right, finally make it up to you. But baby girl, you have to understand, people who are not listening to you or who do not want to listen to you, they never will. And it's not about your words, it's not the way you are communicating your feelings, you are communicating what you need, you are communicating what you want. It's only the other person that doesn't want to understand you. You don't need to convince anyone of anything, and when you are with the right people, even if they don't understand you, they are trying to understand you. They are coming to you. They are coming up to you and asking you what you need. What do you mean? If you can explain it again. But people who do not want to understand you, those are the people you will always find yourself over explaining, over talking, over giving your energy because you feel like it's your mistake to not talk correctly, to not communicate correctly, but it's not. Baby girl, it's not your mistake. The only mistake here you do is that you're losing your connection by doing it in the first place. You have to stop over explaining. You explain it once, and if someone doesn't understand and doesn't come up to you wanting to understand, this is a person you should not waste your breath onto. The next way you lose the connection with yourself is when you're ignoring your body's signal. Success has always been tied to pushing our own limits, even when it costs our well-being. So you might think, oh, when I'm pushing my limits, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be a great mom. I'm going to be a great partner. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be wealthy. But all you are actually doing with pushing your limits is disconnecting with yourself and with who you truly are. When your body feels physically tired, when your eyes are twitching or about to fall, about to close, and you're still forcing yourself to do, to give, to work, to push, you are not doing yourself a favor in no way. Rest is so important. Rest is not something you need to get approval for. Rest is not something you do once you have done your whole to-do list, once you have done everything, rest is something you have to plan into your day, and you build your day around your rest. Once you feel tired, you need to rest. Once you feel sleepy, you need to go to sleep. And with rest, I do not mean sit back and scroll on your phone on social media for hours. That's not rest, and that's not your body really relaxing. With rest, I mean take a spa day. With rest, I mean actual sleeping. Sleeping is a non-negotiable. The most successful women, they prioritize their sleep. I'm sleeping 9 hours every night. Doesn't matter how late I'm going to sleep, I am sleeping my 9 hours. And if I have to wake up earlier, I'm going to bed earlier. I know how crucial sleep is, especially for us women. So if you want to do yourself a favor, and if you want to find your way back to yourself, you have to also acknowledge your body's needs, not only your emotional needs, also your body's needs. If you feel tired, if you feel like resting, if you feel like not doing anything, if you feel like moving your body, if you feel like not eating, if you feel like eating, do it. Nobody can tell you what you need to do. For example, when I was younger, I was always being taught that I have to finish my plate. I have to eat everything that is on the plate. I am not done with eating until the plate is empty. And with that, already I learned to not listen to my body's needs. And then even in my adult years, I was always feeling like I'm not done once the plate is not empty. When someone told me, oh, you lost weight, I think you have to eat more, then I thought, oh, okay, I have to eat more. But to be honest, my body feels best with less weight on it. I am feeling best with less food in my stomach. That's just how I feel my best self, and nobody can tell me differently. Maybe there is a period in my life where I want more food, where I want to feel more full, where I like to eat a lot, and that's also fine. But I learned to listen to my body. I learned to listen to what my body needs and not what somebody else told me to do or not to do. The next way you are losing yourself as a woman is when you stay loyal to unspoken rules that do not serve you. And with that I mean any rules in your life, similar to the rules of finishing up the plate, or rules of having to have a normal job, or rules of having to go to university. There are so many rules in our life that we stay loyal to, even though it does not serve us, even though it doesn't feel the truth to us. For example, I was feeling like I have to study to get paid well. I have to study to get a proper job. That's how I was being brought up, and that's how everyone around me was thinking and was living by those rules. So I was starting to study law, and while studying, I was feeling my worst self. I was feeling drained. I was completely disconnected to my body. I kept overeating, throwing up, not eating, overeating again, throwing up. I was developing an eating disorder, depression, and I was deeply unhappy, even though I actually liked the topic of law. I liked the information, but I hated to go to university. I hated even to go to high school. I had the same problems in high school, but I was taught that I have to do this way in order to have a life. Like, I didn't even know there was another way to live. And while being in that university, while feeling miserable, I thought something is wrong. It can't be that every time I am back in my country, I am doing what I am supposed to be doing, I feel miserable. This is not the way I want to live. So I stopped. I followed what my heart wanted. And your heart will always show you what you need and what you want and what serves you. If something serves you, you will bloom, you will thrive, you will feel good, even though maybe sometimes it's exhausting to do something or to achieve something. That's normal, but you will always feel like thriving when it's serving you. But when something is making you feel smaller, when something is making you feel like you cannot expand, you cannot be yourself, you cannot be your best version of yourself, that's not for you. It's just a question, how long do you want to suffer? How long do you want to follow rules that are not meant to follow by you? Rules are here to give you a direction, but it doesn't mean that there is no other way. It doesn't mean that every rule is set in stone and it has to be like this. You have to make your own rules. You have to experience your own way. If you're not feeling good, if you are feeling like you lost yourself, start to question the systems and rules you follow. Whatever that is, really dive deep. The systems of your country, the rules of your family, the rules of society, the rules of your friends, the unspoken rules. Question them and ask yourself if that really serves you. And if it doesn't, do yourself a favor and stop following those rules. And if that's not being accepted in your surroundings, then you are in the wrong surrounding. When I was living in Austria and I already had started my social media presence, I felt so suppressed. I felt so small doing that because people were not yet there with their mind. Social media was not yet something big. Social media was not yet something where people actually were creating jobs out of it. So I was just being belittled most of the time. People didn't understand what I want to do, and it didn't make me thrive in what I wanted to do. So I knew also I had to move to another place to be able to really thrive and expand in that field. So whatever it is, question it and then ask yourself, does it serve me or does it not serve me? Does it serve what I truly want, or does it make me small and does it prevent me to get where I truly want to be? Always keep in mind that you are not a chameleon. You don't need to change your colors to fit to your circumstances. You need to change your circumstances to fit to you. If you are a loud person, you have to have friends who appreciate you being the loud person. If you are more of an introvert person, you have to find circumstances, people who like you that way. You don't need to force yourself to be loud to fit into any room. You don't need to force yourself to be anything that you are not, because again, you are not a chameleon. You are a precious woman. You are a wonderful girl. You are a unique person on earth that was put on this earth to be exactly who you are. So stop changing yourself. Stop being like a chameleon, changing your colors in order to be liked from anyone. Another way we are losing ourselves is when we are pursuing the perfect woman. We are pursuing to be the perfect mom, the perfect businesswoman, the perfect look, the perfect partner. We are pursuing the perfect life, but who says what's perfect? Who says that having, for example, a family with 2 kids living in a house with a garden is perfect? Maybe that's perfect for you, maybe that's not perfect for me. Who says that having brown hair is perfect? Who says that having blonde hair is perfect, short hair is perfect? It's very subjective. Maybe for you perfect is something else than for me. For people in the US will be something else perfect than for people in the UAE, and so on. You have to zoom out of that perfectionism, of that I want to have the perfect life, the perfect me, the perfect look, the perfect partner. And you have to ask yourself, what is perfect? Like, what is actually perfect? That's such an important question to ask, because what is perfect for you is the question. What is the perfect for you? And even though I think it's never good to strive for perfectionism, but if you minimum would ask yourself what truly is perfect for yourself and not for everyone else, then you will strive for something that you truly want, that you truly aspire to be, and not for something that someone else tells you that is or should be perfect. In this world, there is nothing really perfect, or if you see it the other way, everything is perfect. Everything is exactly perfectly aligned for you, for how it should be. But if we are striving to be that perfect woman that society is portraying us, we are going to lose ourselves, because we are striving for something that we might are not. We are not that perfect image, and I do believe we are being portrayed that image of the perfect woman in order to lose ourselves. Luckily, now with social media, everything is more open, it's more transparent and authentic than a few years ago. We have more people with actual influence in this society who are showing us that we don't have to be perfect. They are not perfect, they don't have perfect looks, they don't match into any scheme, into any standards, yet they are still showing to be happy, to be having a great life, even though they don't fit in that perfect profile. What I want to tell you is that if you are still trying to fit into that perfect woman image, it's like filling water into a bucket with a hole. It's never going to be enough, and you are going to lose yourself. And society wants you to do that, because like that, you are being more easily controlled, right? If you are losing yourself, guess what? Someone else can tell you who you are and who you are not, and what you have to do and what you don't have to do. People who know themselves, people who are messy, people who are not perfect looking, people who are just out there being themselves, people who are being authentic and being proud of being themselves, those are the people who are actually having a great life, who are actually being happy, who are actually living their perfect lives. And those are the people you have to look up to. You have to look up to people who don't look perfect. You have to look up to people who are not having that perfect life of a perfect woman. What I did was that I unfollowed all of the women on Instagram that are giving me that perfect life vibe, because it made me feel smaller, it made me feel a bit miserable, and it made me feel like I am not enough. So I want you to unfollow and unsubscribe everyone that is having that perfect look, that perfect life, that perfect everything that makes you feel smaller than who you truly are, and follow people who are not so perfect. Watch content from people who are not having that perfect lifestyle, who are still successful with what they are doing. I want you to reframe and rephrase your mindset around that and create your own version of perfect, and ask yourself truly, what is perfect for me? What would my perfect life look like? And yeah, that can also change. That's maybe different now than 5 years ago or in 10 years. But it's always important to know what it actually looks like for you, so you will not lose yourself and you will stop running after trends, running after images that are being presented to you. Another way I want to talk about we are losing ourselves is when we're putting our dreams kinda on a shelf, and we put it there and we say, that's not possible for me, that's not available for me, I'm just going for what's right now available, what I'm doing, it's okay, because my dreams are too big. Your dreams are not too big. Your dreams are showing up for you because you are meant to reach them. And I can tell you one insane example of my life that just happened yesterday. So when I was younger, I always wanted to be a model. I always wanted to run on a fashion show. That was my biggest dream. That was what I was striving for. But soon I got to understand from society that I was too short and I was not beautiful enough to be a model. So I just put that dream on a shelf and I thought, okay, unfortunately, that dream is not for me. That's just for skinny, tall girls that are looking flawless. I put it there and I focused on something else, on whatever I did in my life. And just since a few months, I started again to follow my passion, to follow my dream. That was, first of all, fashion, and second of all, being on social media and doing something to impact this world, to help women being the best version of themselves. And while I was following my passion, I was creating my own fashion brand. I was just doing whatever I loved doing, even though I didn't even earn $1 from it. I invested money, I invested time, and I absolutely enjoyed doing it. But I completely forgot already about my dream of being a model. Like, that was not anymore on my horizon. Then 5 days ago, someone asked me, do you want to come to present your brand on an exhibition? I thought, nice, yeah, maybe I can do some sales, get some more brand awareness. I said, yes, when is it and where is it? It's in 4 days. I thought, okay, 4 days, not enough time to prepare, but it's okay, I have some pieces at home. I will present those pieces. 2 days later, they told me it's not an exhibition, it's a fashion show. And they already have 8 models. I just need to have 8 outfits. And if I want, I can run myself as well. I thought, that must be a joke, right? I didn't take it seriously. I thought maybe it's some small, like, fashion walk in a restaurant or something. And then yesterday I arrived there and I saw it's a whole event with a proper, like, fashion walk, with a proper stage. It was everything so good planned, and I was like, how did I even end up here? How did that even come into my reality? How did I even created this into my reality? And then I was just going through the day. I was being on the stage. I was not even realizing what has happened until I got home and I saw all the videos of my fashion show, of my brand, of the clothes that I created, that I put on earth. I gave birth to this collection, and then I see myself running on that fashion show and I'm like, how did that even come into my life? And I tell you how. Because I didn't give up. I kept pursuing my dream. Even though I didn't pursue anymore that dream of being a model, I pursued something that was in that range. I wanted to be in fashion and I wanted to be a person of public. I wanted to be a person of influence. I wanted to be a person that younger girls look up to. And now I have almost 500k followers on Instagram. I have just done my first fashion show. I have just experienced so many of my dreams within just the past 3 to 4 months. And the only way this happened was because I did not ignore my dreams. I kept pursuing my dreams and I said no to everything that was not aligning with my dream. That's why, baby girl, do not forget about your dreams. Whatever you dream of, whatever is in your imagination, it's for you here to experience it. In whatever way you are going to experience it if you do not stop to follow your passion. And that's also a way to find back to yourself. Ask yourself, what were your dreams when you were younger? What did you dream of being and experiencing when you were 10 years old? What were your hobbies? What were your dreams when you were younger? And keep pursuing your dreams. Keep pursuing what you loved doing when you were younger, and believe me, trust me, you will find back to that version of you. I want you to know this journey of finding your way back to yourself, back to your home inside of you. It's a quiet journey, and every small thing that puts you in the center of your life, every small moment of truth, every small moment of nurturing yourself, of self-care, is one step closer back to yourself. You are not lost. You are still there. You just need to learn to listen to yourself. Anyways, guys, I hope this could help. I hope I could encourage you to start listening to yourself again. Start asking yourself what you actually need and who you actually are, and start to find your way back home. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.